delicious. This is the best bread in the world.
What do you think, Em?
You're supposed to say something. The best bread in the world that ever people tasted.
Oh. Audrey, do you want to say something?
It's really good bread.
Okay.
Yep, that's it. All right, we're making bread. I make awesome bread. I'm going to show you how I do it. I have 3 cups of warm water. You don't want it too hot, it'll kill the yeast. But if it's not warm enough, it won't start rising very well. So just warm. 2 full tablespoons of yeast. Half cup of sugar, or like a 1/4 cup of honey, if you'd rather. And half of the flour, because we're making a sponge first. So 4 cups of flour. It might have been 5, might have been 4. And then about a 1/4 cup of oil. I just counted. Definitely not scientific. And then small palm full of salt. Just mix it for a bit until it's somewhat combined, and then we leave it to rise. Alright, sponge is done. We just need to, depending on the time of year, it might take a little bit longer if it's cold. If it's really warm, 20 minutes will probably be okay. This out because we need it, but everything else can be put away. Okay, so it looks kind of spongy and pillowy, exactly the way we want to. So I'm just going to turn this on and then add in approximately, oh yeah, I could do this. It's a trick I learned. I've been wearing glasses forever. If you kind of angle your glasses up on your face, there we go. I like touching my cheeks. Okay, so about 4 cups of remaining flour. So you'll just want to eyeball it. You don't want it too stiff of a flour, but you want it to be somewhat not too sticky. You do 2 full ones always, because it almost never needs less than that. Pretty much never ever. Ooh, best. That's nice. I don't think I realized I have a filter on. Makes me look like I have nice skin. And no lips. Need darker lipstick. Not this cute. This is what you want it to look like. Teensy bit stickage on the side, not fully smooth. And then you're going to let that knead in your maker, whatever it is that you use, for at least 5 to 6 minutes. thumbs up, and I have lip snow. Amazing with a little bit of lip gloss. Alright, so this is about done. And let me show you how it looks. It's much smoother. Still is not major stickage, but it's like a roundy loaf. I don't know how to describe that. Just, it's rounder, and it's beefy, and it's perfect. Alright. There's always flour around, and I'll put that on my fingers so it doesn't stick to my fingers as I remove it from the dough hook. Because I'm a messy baker, but I try. That. And I leave it in the bowl to rise, but to keep it from drying out, I just have this filled with oil of your choice. Oven on to the lowest temperature it can go, like the warming temperature. It's on my stove, it's 170 degrees. And I'll only keep it on for about 5 minutes, and then I'll turn it off and just leave it in there until it rises as much as I want. So that's 20 minutes. Let's check on it. Not quite there. Set the timer for another, I'll do 10 minutes. Check it again. Perfect. Okay, so I've got a clean countertop. Get my bread pans, which these things are heavy. They're cast iron. I invested in these a while back because I thought they will last forever. But you do have to adjust cooking temperature a little bit, or cook time, because it doesn't brown super fast. So if you want a brown crust on the bottom, you got to change it up a little bit. I have my pans here. And this is my non-sticky stuff. It's basically what you'd put in a cake pan, but all mixed together ahead of time. So it's a more solid fat, like coconut, that's not coconutty. Coconut oil, and a liquid fat, like canola oil or extra light olive oil, and flour. And it's just this paste. And I that in the bottoms and the corners so it doesn't stick. Dump this out. Let's use this. It's a plastic bench scraper, but it's nice because it bends and can get all the stuff out of the bowl. And then you want to get some of the air out. And then if I really wanted to be extra, I could weigh out my loaves, but I'm not going to do that. So I just eyeball it. This is nice because it can just kind of cut through it. And then this seems like a weird thing, but it helps with the bubbles on the inside so you don't get these giant bubbles. So you lay it out flat and you stretch it kind of the width of your pan, and then long. Make sure you kind of get out all the big bubbles and make it homogeneous. And then you roll it tight. You just kind of like pull back on it while you roll and pop the bubbles. Helps make a nice loaf shape. Just pinch it in place underneath. There's my loaf.
I've been thinking about myself today, thinking how I changed, how I really don't care if you are here or if you don't stay.
So then I just spray the tops with some oil. For the second rise, I put them in the oven in their pans, and I just get it to a nice warm temperature. You can either do the warm setting and then turn it off after a little bit, or you can just turn it on the preset. Let it rise for at least another 20 minutes and we'll check on it. Almost there. I think I'll do another 8 minutes or so. Pretty good. I turn that on to, I normally would have done 350 with my old baking pans, but with these cast iron ones, I do a little bit, that's weird. Oh well. 375 for 30 minutes. Okay, time's up. Let's check it. Ooh, they look pretty good. I'll show you how I check to make sure they are done. It's a little bit harder with the cast iron because they're heavy, but I still like them. Take one out. And I'll just kind of nice hollow sound. And then just to be extra sure, I'll kind of push on the bottom and it springs right back so you know it's done. Perfect. So I get a nice flour sackcloth. Probably just because my grandma did. I don't know if anybody else does this, but I do. Another thing Grandma always did was butter the tops of the bread. Don't need to, but I like it. Makes the tops look nice and shiny. This is the easiest way to do it, is take some cold butter and just slap it on there. It's always better if you let it cool for just a little while. I don't usually let it cool for too long because I like it to be warm. I'm wonky. Well, if you are going to make bread, you need a bread knife, a serrated edge. Otherwise, you might as well just don't make bread. Just don't. And you can cut hot bread, because I'm about to do it, but it's hot and you don't want to rush it. Just go squishy. Ta-da! There we go. If only you could smell bread. Video. See, the crumb is really nice. It's squishy and springy. And when it's fresh like this, the crust is nice and that people do. Butter and honey is my favorite. It's good. Have an awesome day.